Welcome to the Bottle Poppin' Podcast, where Meg and Heather share their love for oils, friendship, and entrepreneurship. Let's get it poppin'.
Hey everyone, this is Meg.
Hi there, this is Heather.
And we are the Bottle Poppin' Podcast. So Heather, what are we popping open today?
We're going to have a conversation today about the new ProBiome products. So there were already probiotic products in doTERRA's lineup. However, they have reformulated them.
I'm really excited about this. I liked the PB Assist, that's what the previous product was called. I liked what we had before, but what we have now is so much better. So I'll tell you some of the things that I liked before that I still like about this product. The biggest thing is that it's in a dual chamber capsule. I feel like when doTERRA first did this, it was the first time I had seen it. I don't know if doTERRA was the first company to do this. Now I feel like you see this more often. But it's literally a capsule inside of a capsule, and that ensures that your probiotics are getting through your stomach acid and get all the way down into your intestines, which is where you want the probiotics to get to. And so they still have kept that technology. I also really liked before that they had one that was like a pixie stick, and previously that was the kids' PB Assist. They still have a pixie stick version of it that can be used for kids, but it's also stronger, so it works for adults really well for adults. But I think the coolest thing with this upgrade, not only does it have a lot more diversity that's providing to your gut, the other thing I really like about this is that it is designed just not as a probiotic, but it is a probiotic, a prebiotic, and a post-biotic. And even though gut health is my specialty from a nutrition standpoint, I don't know that I've heard very many people talk about postbiotics. So it was really cool to dive into the science of that and to see how beneficial all three of those can be. The other thing that is really cool about this is that it's for all microbiomes in the body, or all biomes in the body. So normally we just think of the gut microbiome, but here they're talking about how it helps with the skin, it helps with the brain, it helps with muscle performance and joints. It's helping all these different areas within our bodies, which is pretty awesome to take a supplement that does all of that.
And I am glad that you are leading this conversation, because I will say, as somebody that does not have a background in this, I think I have taken probiotics in the past because I was told that they were good for us, that our gut needed to have diversity in it so that the good bacteria outweighed the bad bacteria. That's my basic understanding of it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't fully understand this. And so, the idea of pre and post, that all starts to feel really confusing. So as simple as you can you give us the why we should be taking any sort of biotic either way?
Mm-hmm. So let me just first of all break down and explain kind of what pre, pro, and post, what the difference is between them. So prebiotics are things that feed your gut bacteria. So I think most people know that we've got gut bacteria, and it's kind of weird to think about, but we've got, I don't even know if it's thousands or trillions, but we've got a whole bunch of these little bugs in our body. There's more of them than there are cells in our body, and we need to feed them. And so the prebiotic is what feeds them. And you can totally do this with food. So cruciferous vegetables are amazing for this. So if you've got a lot of gut issues, eating more cauliflower and Brussels sprouts and foods like that are going to feed them. But you can also take it in capsule form, which is what this is. And so they feed them, they make them happy, they make them strong, just like we are literally made up of the food we eat. These bugs in our gut are as well. So that's what the prebiotic does. So probiotics, this is what, most people hear that they're supposed to take. I feel like a lot of people take probiotics after taking antibiotics. So if you just even think about the word anti is literally killing off gut bacteria. And hopefully, if it's working appropriately, killing off the virus or whatever you're taking the antibiotics for. But then you need to rebuild your gut army. And so that's when people oftentimes take probiotics. But probiotics, they are pretty amazing. And so with doTERRA specifically, this one now has 18 billion active CFUs, and CFUs are just colony forming units. And so that is huge. It also has 30 bioactive components, and this is 4 times more than what our previous probiotic has. And so basically when you're taking this, it's like superfood for your gut and just super effective for that. And then postbiotics, again, this is something I hadn't heard much about previously, but at a high level, and this probably is not exactly right, but postbiotics is basically like the poop from the bugs in your gut. So just like manure is used to make, ground and soil fertile, this is making your body fertile for all kinds of healthy digestive, making your microbiome healthy overall. And so those three components in one pill, either capsule or sachet, is huge. And I'll say as well, so they shared a few statistics. One of them was that 35% of people take probiotics, but then they said, are they even taking the right kind? And as a functional nutritionist, that is something I see. There are so many bad, just crappy probiotic options out there. It's kind of a buzzword right now. A lot of companies want to sell you a probiotic. One of the things that people will tell me is like, oh, I take a good one because it's refrigerated and so it keeps everything alive. That like makes no sense. If you think about it, isn't the like body temperature like 97 degrees, somewhere around there? Like if it's cold, then it's not the same as your body. And so that would kill it off. So if you're buying a fancy probiotic that has to be refrigerated, that's a sales gimmick. That's not something that's actually doing you any good. If you're taking probiotics that have been shipped all over the world and aren't being managed appropriately, so like if you're getting them from Amazon where you have no control of how it's being shipped or even how it got to the Amazon warehouse, probably not going to be very many alive cultures in there. So it needs to be the right type. This one definitely is. Prior to doTERRA coming out with these two new probiotics, there was really only two probiotics I have my clients on. One of them was doTERRA's PB Assist that they had before. The other one is a totally different company and it's soil based. So those are really the only two I found that were truly effective, and I would put people on them and they would feel a difference. And so I'm really excited to now have these two options. And the cool thing with the two options as well is you could take the best probiotic in the world, but if you take the exact same probiotic every single day, then your gut bacteria is going to be messed up as well because you're only introducing your gut to the same probiotics every day. And that's not a healthy gut. So like one of the things I do within my nutrition business is I do a GI map, which is a test that's a stool sample test that tests literally everything within your GI system. And I have a client who was taking a pretty good probiotic, but she took the exact same one for 9 years. And because of that, the probiotic that she was taking, all of those bacteria, there was tons of, but then she didn't have enough of the other. So she didn't have good diversity. The cool thing with this, the way doTERRA's designed this, is these two have totally different strains of bacteria in them. And so what I would recommend doing is actually taking one for about 3 months and then switch over to the other one for 3 months and just switch back and forth between the two. And that way you're giving your gut really good diversity. Probably a lot of people who are going to be talking about doTERRA's probiotics are going to say to take both at the same time. As a nutritionist, I would not recommend that. Maybe if you have really bad gut bacteria to begin with or a lot of GI issues, maybe for a month or two, take them together. But after that, switch back and forth between the two. And that way you're getting really good diversity in your gut and you're not getting the exact same strains every single day where you're now going to have imbalances in your gut in the long run. So I feel like I just did a lot of talking.
That was great. Thank you so much. I felt like that was a lot easier to understand when it's kind of condensed into just basic information for people like myself that just, this is, when you say high level, this just feels like a lot of information. And I'm sure there's a lot more things that you could kind of touch on, but I want to make sure that we just kind of stay fairly basic too, right?
Yeah.
I really appreciate the information about switching between the two, because again, that's not something that I think myself and a lot of people even know. You hear about the probiotics on the market and you assume that once you find the good one, that is just fine. You don't need to switch it. And so thinking about switching that up, just as if we eat a diverse diet, that obviously we get more diversity too. That makes complete sense about rotating between the different probiotics. So I think having the option of both of these is really good. I have been taking the dual chamber ProBiome a capsule each morning before I start my day with anything else. And I have not been doing the pixie stick ones because I figured I would do exactly what you were recommending and then switch over to that. When I tried the pixie stick one, it's really good. It's kind of got like a strawberry melon flavor. And that was what the previous one was too. But the other one it was sweet. This one's still sweet, but it's not quite as sweet, but it's really good. Just kind of straight from the container. I've heard that you could put it on top of yogurt or something like that. But honestly, my family, we just take it straight from the little packet.
Mm-hmm. It would probably be good also like in a smoothie or something like that. But I agree. It's so easy to take out of the packet. So I've been taking this for about 30 days as well. I've been kind of going back and forth between the two just because I wanted to play with them. And I've muscle tested them and all of that stuff as well. Heather and I were actually talking before we started when they actually gave samples of this to a few different people, high up people at doTERRA beforehand, and then had them come up on stage and talk about the shifts and changes that they've noticed. And their results sounded amazing. Like multiple people talked about having amazing bowel movements, better than they've ever had. They were talking about how their skin has totally cleared up. What were some of the other things that they said?
Mood. Their family noticed a shift in mood improvement.
Yeah. So I don't know that I've experienced that yet. And Heather, you kind of said the same thing, right?
Correct.
Haven't experienced that yet, but I do wonder if it's because we both already were taking good supplements on a regular basis. But if you're somebody who doesn't take a probiotic on a regular basis, that probably is something that you are going to experience with this. Everything is tied to our gut. So when you support your gut appropriately, everything else in your body begins to function better because it truly is like the foundation of health. So yeah, I'm really excited to have these two new products.
And again, we wanted to kind of just put out a basic understanding of these new products. But if you have more specific questions, our Third Thursday Ask Us Anything is a great place to be able to do that because we have access to Meg and she can answer all of our questions about this topic.
I can totally nerd out on this if you want to get like super deep in the weeds about gut health. So yeah. All right. Well, anything else on this topic?
So I think I'm looking forward to continuing to use them. And I think once I'm in a routine with supplements, they're really easy for me just to continue to do. And like I said, I've been doing this one first thing in the morning. When I've done my couple of months of this one, I'll switch over to the other one's called just PB Assist Sticks? What are we referring to?
Yeah, it says PB Assist Plus.
Plus, okay. It used to be Junior. Okay. So I will switch over to that and that will be an easy thing too. But it'll be interesting to see if we do notice any difference. Because like you said, we already are on high quality supplements. So we will see.
And we're both eating relatively clean as well. Like that definitely plays into it. But again, if you're not on a probiotic, I bet you're going to see a lot of the results that people are talking about from stage jumping on this. So,
but yeah, even on that, I feel like part of the reason that I am willing to take this without fully understanding it is that I do understand the basic information of why my gut needs to be healthy, why it needs to be diversified. And one of the comments that I had written down, or one of my notes that I had written down from convention when they were talking about these products is that 75% of the world's food is generated from only 12 plants and 5 animals. Mm-hmm. Yikes, that is not diverse at all. And so I know that I probably need to improve those systems. And so for me, even if I don't necessarily feel the results or have a full understanding of what pre, pro, and post things are, I feel like this still makes sense as to why I need to take this to stay healthy and hopefully improve those other systems as well.
Yeah. Well, and just now when you said that, something that stood out to me is that you said it was 75% of the world's foods. In the US, it's even less than that. And especially people who are truly eating the SAD diet, the standard American diet, like this will be life-changing for you. So change your diet as well. But if you need to start with a supplement, which some people do, get this probiotic, and maybe then it will encourage you to be like, man, if I feel this good with a little probiotic, imagine if I started eating vegetables. So yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening. And we will have a brand new episode for you next Friday.
Thanks for tuning in. For more information, you can follow these bottle poppin' ladies at bottlepoppinpodcast.com. Tune in next week to learn about what bottle we're poppin'. Until next time, take care. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This podcast is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.